Have you tried following up with prospects and you were concerned that following up may make you come across as desperate? In today's video, I'm going to show you how to sell with confidence so that you can be able to follow up without feeling desperate and help the prospects make decisions immediately. My name is Iyore. We've trained thousands of salespeople across several countries, including Nigeria, Ghana, USA, UAE, Rwanda. I'm an author of several books and resources on sales, and I'm featured on lots of media platforms to talk about successful selling. I worked on an organization I was going to target to sell to 20 high net worth individuals. I was able to bring in 21 high net worth individuals to the organization in a single month. I also participated in a sales competition where I won, and I was sent for the World Cup for an all-expense paid trip. I moved to another organization. I was able to double my portfolio by over 100% in just 11 months. I'm now the CEO for Advantage, and our specialties in Salesforce management. This means work with sales teams, partnering with the CEOs, with the team leads, to help them optimize sales results and get sales results faster and in record time. And we do this using our frameworks, our tools, our templates, and our strategies to help them achieve record sales. So, ladies and gentlemen, quickly, remember, selling is not begging. The moment you start begging, you are no longer selling. One key element of selling is the word persuasion. This means when I'm selling to you, I am trying to persuade you. To persuade means I am at the top. And see, if I'm persuading you, I'm trying to pull you up to my thoughts, to pull you up to my conviction. So this means, to an extent, the person who is selling or persuading is higher. I can't persuade you by bringing you down. I'll only persuade you by bringing you up to my thoughts and to my thinking. So to persuade is key. Now, the moment you start begging, persuasion goes out to the window. It turns to a plea. It turns to a plea. Now, in order for you to sell with confidence, you must position yourself as an authority in what you do. Now, to position yourself as an authority doesn't necessarily mean that you are known everywhere in the society, you are seen on the news. Those things are very good and they help a lot. However, one of the key things you can do to position yourself as an authority is your choice of your vocabulary, how you speak. You choose words carefully. This means that when you are selling, your presentation needs to be planned. You need to have a planned presentation. You don't just speak as it comes to you. Whether the presentation is planned from your asking questions, that can also help to buttress your authority. Because if you ask questions, you find out that most professionals, whether the legal profession, the medical profession, whatever profession you can think of now, you'll find out that they always begin their engagements with questions. So this has really pre-framed people and programmed people to understand that the pros ask questions. They don't go around just talking. So position yourself as an authority, ask questions. Plan those questions carefully. Now, I tell you, say in sales, when you sell, it is better to have your questions written than to have your questions memorized. Because if you have your questions written, they will come out the exact way and you will get the exact response that gives you control over the conversation. However, if your questions are not written and it's how you remember them, an inflection in your tone of voice, a change of statement in that question could change the meaning and change the direction of the conversation. So plan your questions carefully. Now, infuse vocabularies into your questions. When I say vocabularies, I'm saying, now I'll tell you what vocabularies are shortly. Infuse vocabularies into your questions. If you're not going to do that at the point of questions, or in addition to that, when you're communicating value, arrange the order of your communication of value when you're selling to the prospects. Arrange them in the right order. So whether it's at the point where you're trying to sell the company, meaning you're trying to tell them about your company so that you can establish credibility and trust, and they can see that, wow, this company is actually the company I want to do business with. Because people do business with you based on if they like you, they know you, they trust you. That's just the first part. If they like you and trust you. The second part is if they like your company. So if you're in a position where you can actually tell them about your company, maybe just 5 points, arrange those 5 points correctly. Another way you can infuse vocabulary, the first way I've said is when you're asking questions, infuse vocabulary in. I'll tell you what vocabulary means shortly. When your second part is when you're selling your company, infuse vocabulary in. The third part is at the point when you're communicating the benefits of the product. The systematic communication of value demands that you arrange the order of the communication of your value, possibly from the highest, from the strong points to stronger points to the strongest points, so that the conversation ends in a crescendo and you ask for the sale. Now, the moment you've done these three things and you've infused your vocabulary into the conversation, you establish yourself as an authority. So when the authority is following you up, the authority is following you up because the person wants to help you and move you into your promised land. Now, vocabulary simply means the key words you speak in your industry that position you as the go-to person in that industry, that position you as the expert, meaning the language of the initiated. Initiated in the sense that when lawyers are speaking, most likely doctors may not understand some terms they use. When doctors are speaking, most likely lawyers or others will not understand some terms doctors are using. When you two are speaking about your industry and about your product or about your service, there are certain terms that most people will not understand. It could be because of the abbreviations that you normally use. It could also be because these are technical terms that you use in your industry. So when you speak, infuse a little of that into the conversation. That's what I mean by vocabulary. Because it does two things. It makes the person realize that this person is a pro. It also makes the person feel like, you know what, I'm not sure. Can you tell me what exactly that means? So that you will now explain. And the act of explaining enhances and strengthens your credibility. So, ladies and gentlemen, the moment you've pitched and you've positioned yourself as this authority, when it's time to follow up, you are following up from that place of authority. So if you're calling and you say, "Oh, Mr. Prospect, just a reminder, we're about, you do the follow up." If the prospect says, "Okay, let's talk, I'll get back to you when I'm ready," it's okay, no problem, sir. However, I know because you're busy, I will give you a call in 2 weeks' time. I'll give you a call later today. When you follow up, make sure you have the last word. Because if you have the last word, you would have higher chances of being the person who takes control of the conversation. So if you follow up this way and you always have the last word and you position yourself as an authority, because before you begin the follow-up, your chances of closing will be higher and you will be able to sell without begging or looking desperate. So thanks for watching today's video. If you haven't liked the video, please like, please share with others as well. If you haven't subscribed, you can subscribe here. If you haven't watched the next video, please watch the next video. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Thanks so much for watching. I'll talk to you soon.